Hello everyone. Let's look at today's Leetcode problem. 2929. Distribute candies among children 2. Before starting this problem, let us look at a motivational quote for today. Motivation comes and goes. What matters is showing up. Even slow progress is still progress. Think of it like going to gym. The hardest part is getting there. So sometimes we obviously feel very tired. That might be due to our physical tiredness or the strain that we go through in our daily routine, but having to show up every day is the key to success. Okay, so let us understand the problem statement. You are given two positive integers n and limit. So n return the total number of ways to distribute n candies among three children. So we need to distribute candies among three children such that no child gets more than the limit candies. Okay, so the points to note here is uh, n candies among three children and no child gets more than the limit number of candies. So let's say if there are three children, child 1, child 2, child 3, uh, what are the different ways that we can distribute n candies? And limit is something which defines what is the maximum number of candies that each child can get. Okay, so in this case we have a limit of 2 and candies is equals to 5. So if we think about it, 0 0 0 is a possible ways to distribute candies, or so let's say 1 2 2 as per whatever I'm seeing here. So it's 1 2 2 2 1 2 and 2 2 2. Total number of ways in candies distribute in candies among three children such that no child gets more than limit candy. So this is all these are the three different ways that we can distribute the five candies among these three children, considering limit as two, right? And we are not exceeding limit of two at any place. 2 to 1. This is one, right? So at some point of time each children is getting one candy. So let us look at the example 2 as well. In any of the example we are given a constant of these three children. So there are three candies and number of candies are 3 and limit is 3. So the total ways of distributing is 0 0 3 or 0 3 0 and 3 0 0, or let's say this is one possibility of distribution, or let's say if we say 0 1 2, we might move this across, let's say 1 2 0 or 2 0 1. This might be another possibility. So on, we can have 10 such possibilities where 0 to 1, or yeah, so we can have 10 such possibilities as seen here. But at no point of time we should exceed the limit, and also we should satisfy the number of candies to be distributed among three children, but we should not exceed giving more than the limit to a specific child. Okay, so let us think about how we can approach this problem. In the first approach, we can think about a brute force approach where, let's say, we can have three for loops, one for C1, where we start from 0 to limit, and similarly a C2 child which would also have C2 to limit, and finally a C3 child which would be of n candies minus C1 minus C2, and we also need to make a check if C3 is less than or equal to limit, and also uh, C3 is greater than or equal to 0, just as a boundary condition, and then we can say this as a valid combination. So, and we can simply return a valid combination after this set of for loops, which would be returning us a valid number of combination as per the question. But if we see here, the time complexity is n square, as we have two for loops which iterate limit square, as we are iterating the limit number of times, and space complexity is of 1 as we are not using any additional space. So this would be time limit exceeded most probably. So let us look at another approach as well. So there can be a better approach where we can solve this problem uh, using some mathematical expression. So I will write it as approach 2. So let's understand if we can derive a mathematical expression here. So we are required to find how we can distribute n candies among 3 children with the limit. Okay, so let's say we have 3 children that take up A, B, C, and it comes up to n. So how can we divide them? So it can be said like maybe n plus 1 uh, combination of 2 times. So that means maybe 2 can be taken up here, 2 can be taken up here, and maybe 1 or whatever remaining is there, right? So this can be a typical example of how we make uh, how how we can count integers. So let's say we have n candies, we can divide them, let's say this way, where we can have two divisions with the value n, and we give each of them 2 and 2, and here let's say it might be less than these two values just to fit the value n. So first thing is we split this by 2, that is n plus 2, and the last value takes up 2. So yeah, this might be our initial formula somehow, and let's call this k0 to 3, and let's say if we add in other boundary conditions with respect to a not greater than limit, and b not greater than limit, and c not greater than limit, then we might also end up with a mathematical formula something like this, where initially with 0 we had seen a formula something like this, n plus 2 by 2, while this is for this one. similarly for the case where we have a limit where n this can be a math heavy problem, but yeah, as we discuss in an interview, we can get some hints on how we can come to this mathematical solution. But obviously, it would be a pretty hard, hard thing for us to get a derivation pretty quickly. Yeah, so that's the whole assumption. So we get some. Finally, we get a derived formula, something like this, where there might be a k value. So the final formula would be something like this, where k is equals to 0, summation of k is equals to 0 to 3, and this would be of minus k, where we are adding all of these formulas including the limit, and this would be 3 by k, and n minus k times limit plus 1 divided by 2 plus 2, right? So that's the whole formula. So let me write it here again in a larger horizontal view. So we would have k is equals to 0 to 3 summation, and minus 1 to k, and minus 1 to k, and 3 by k, while n minus k times limit plus 1 and plus 2 divided by 2. So this would be the entire formula that we need to come up with. So considering this, we can approach this by solving this problem. So let us go to the Leetcode editor and try solving this problem. Okay, so after having to come to a conclusion with formula, so we can quickly write a solution where we want to have a combinatory work with 0 to 3 times, and that can be done with a simple for loop where we can have and this is with respect to the sign which gets calculated for the children, the a b c values that we saw in the formula with alternating plus and minus signs. So our formula was the sign, the combination of 3k. Maybe we will need to add in this helper method, which is the combinatory, which helps us return the combinatory value. This would be an helper method where we pass in two values a and b, and we get all possible combinations from this input here. would be the formula, and let's simply return the result here. Okay, this should be the solution. Maybe we can assign a value. Okay, so this is our solution. Let's try submitting the solution, and this would be of space and time complexity of 1, as we do not have any extra memory consumption here. So yeah. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Less than or equal to 3. Okay, as you see, the solution gets submitted. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.